Lemonada.
Amazon Health AI presents Painful Thoughts.
Why did I search the internet for answers to my cold sore problem? Now I'm stuck down a rabbit hole filled with images of alarmingly graphic sores in various stages of ooze. I can clear my search history, but I can never unsee that.
Don't go down the rabbit hole. Amazon Health AI gets you the right care, fast. Healthcare just got less painful.
Hello and welcome to Happier, a podcast where we talk about strategies and solutions for bringing more happiness into our everyday life. This week, we'll talk about why you should try on every pair of pants, and we pose an interesting Know Yourself Better question. Are you a nostalgic person or an expectant person? I'm Gretchen Rubin, a writer who studies happiness, good habits, human nature. I'm in my little home office in New York City, and joining me today from Los Angeles is my sister, Elizabeth Kraft. And Elizabeth, you and I have had sessions where I basically force you to try on every pair of pants.
That's me, Elizabeth Kraft, a TV writer and producer living in LA. And yes, Gretch, you have helped me go through my jeans many a time.
One of my favorite things to do. But before we jump in, we have a few updates.
Yes, this comes from Kara. She says, your recent episode about how questioners answer questions gave me amazing new insight into a frequent source of conflict between me and my husband. I never really thought of him as a questioner, but after hearing this episode, I think he definitely has questioner tendencies. I'm an obliger with some upholder tendencies, and I tend to be pretty direct in my communication style. It drives me crazy when I ask him a question, and instead of providing the information I wanted, he answers a slightly different question that gets at what he thinks might be motivating the inquiry. Example, question, what time is our son's soccer practice? Answer, I could take him. If I follow up with more questions trying to get a straight answer, he often perceives it as being interrogated, while I get more and more frustrated. It leads to many dumb arguments. After listening to your episode about questioning questioners, I'm going to try providing more context and reasoning with each question I ask and see if that gets me more satisfying and direct answers on the first try. Another episode confirmed a phenomenon my daughter had observed. She's in her first year at college, and she and her roommate have become very close, good friends. They are both obligers, and her roommate is an especially caring and empathetic person who goes out of her way to help other people often. My daughter was disappointed when her roommate would sometimes back out of plans they had made, such as going to the gym, which they had made to keep each other accountable for healthy habits. They still get along well. It's not a matter of not wanting to spend time together. She suggested to me that maybe they have become so close that they don't provide outer accountability for each other anymore. The next day, I heard your episode about how married couples often aren't successful external accountability partners for each other, which confirmed our hunch.
So I love this. I love the questioner part. I love the obliger part.
Yes.
I'm married to a questioner too. And the more you can explain why you're asking, the less resistance you get from them providing information. It's just a step that if you front load that step, you will save yourself a lot of time and annoyance further down the road, because asking questions of questioners can be an issue. And I love this example of how someone who's too close doesn't provide outer accountability. That's a really useful thing to know. For some people, their children give them outer accountability. For some people, they count as inner. So each of us is different, and what different obligers find to be useful for outer accountability really varies. And so this is a great example of, like, maybe for Kara's daughter, the roommate is good at outer accountability, but for the roommate,
yes,
it isn't good accountability. And so it's just a good thing to be aware of.
Absolutely.
And again, if you don't know what we're talking about, go to my website, go to GretchenRubin.com/quiz, and all will be revealed. I also wanted to mention Mother's Day is coming up on May 10th. If you are planning to give one of my books as a gift, because I know from previous years that often people do give my books as a gift, they might give The Happiness Project, Outer Order, Inner Calm for people who are like dealing with clutter, Secrets of Adulthood. That's a very kind of gift book. I love all my books. If you want to add a personal touch, Elizabeth, you and I often talk about how personalizing things makes them feel more elevated. You can request free signed book plates, as many as you want within reason. This is US and Canada only because I will mail these. You can request them at happiercast.com/bookplate. But if you do it quickly, there's sort of a lot of steps that have to happen for me to mail these book plates. So the sooner the better. I don't want to disappoint anybody by not getting them to you in time.
Nice addition to a gift.
Yes. And so this week, our try this at home suggestion is to try on every pair of pants. And Elizabeth, you were the one who suggested this try this at home. What made you think of this?
Well, I think everybody's in spring cleaning mode right now.
Yeah.
And I have done this a few different times. And it is just so useful to try on every single pair of pants you own, because you have to try them on with pants.
Yes.
You can't just eyeball it. You have to try them on.
Yep.
And to be real with yourself about whether or not you're ever going to wear them again. And if you're not, move them along to the next person. Time to donate them.
I think pants are every kind of garment is different in its challenges. Pants seem to stack up. It seems like we do just accumulate more and more pants instead of getting rid of the ones. Maybe it's because they all kind of look alike when they're in a closet or on a shelf, right? It just feels overwhelming to sort through and remember what's the difference between this pair of jeans and that pair of jeans. Just as somebody who loves happiness bullying my friends into helping me clear their clutter, it is not at all uncommon to see people with dozens of pairs of pants. Like jeans, I remember I went to this one friend's house and in a closet she had a stack. So they were stacked up. And I mean, it was like past my knee. And I thought, this is just a sign that you're not wearing any of them.
Right.
Because there's no way you're going to get the one that's like third from the bottom. That itself is like a visual clue that these are just not being worn at all. And so you're not looking for them. You're not wearing them. They're not coming in handy. So pull out the stack, try them on, and start donating.
Yeah. And I know for me, Gretchen, like I lost 35 pounds.
Yes.
So that's a big difference when it comes to jean size.
Yes.
And
yes.
part of me said, well, let me keep these in case I gain weight so I'm not out having to buy new pants. Well, one, luckily I've kept the weight off now for a couple of years, but also the truth is, whether you're holding on to jeans because you want to lose weight or because you're afraid you'll gain weight, by the time that happens, it's most likely the jeans won't even be in style and something you want to wear at that time. But right now they are in style. So better to hand them off to somebody who will wear them now.
Yes.
Rather than hold on to them and then realize in a year or 2 years or 3 years that you no longer want to wear those jeans. Sometimes we think, well, jeans are jeans, but the styles do change.
Yes.
And when it comes down to it, you don't want to wear a jean that looks like it's from 15 years ago.
Well, it's funny. I'm laughing as we're having this conversation because you have, especially for an underbuyer, you have extraordinary patience when it comes to considering jeans, trying on jeans, weighing the pros and cons of different jeans. And I remember there was one point with our mother where she's like, I'm not going to go jean shopping with Elizabeth ever again. Our mother, who loves fashion and clothes, it's just too boring because it was just like one after another after another, and the subtleties and like, what about this and what about that? But the same thing means that you're not going to want to wear something that you're like, okay, this just looks very, very dated. But here's another thing, and this is helpful to me with pants and also with things like a black sweater or some basic. You have to say to yourself, am I going to wear my fifth favorite of something, right? If you have 5 pairs of jeans, be honest with yourself. Are there occasions where you wear your fifth favorite pair? Now, you could say, I have blue jeans, I have white jeans, I have black jeans. Okay, so consider those separate categories, right? Because there's a place you're going to wear white jeans that you're not going to wear blue jeans or black jeans. Okay, so that's a separate category. It's not jeans, it's white jeans. Are you going to wear your fifth favorite pair of white jeans? I'm not going to. Now, I'm a person who doesn't like a lot of choice. I like to have a few favorites that I wear over and over. And so I have really learned I never get to that point. And I think even for people who really love clothes and love choices, they probably would be better off having more choices rather than more of a single specific category going deep. Because if you have 4 pairs that you like better, why are you ever going to wear the 5th pair?
Yes. And I finally applied that logic to some black pants. Like I was holding on to black pants in truth, I was never going to wear just because I thought, well, these are nice black pants. I could wear them. But the truth is, I had 3 other pairs that I knew I would wear before I wore that pair.
Okay, so that is an outer order, inner calm. When I was writing that book, I noticed that tell. I could wear them. If you say I could wear them, that means I do not wear them. I haven't worn them, but it is conceivable that I could wear them. And that is a sign that you're not wearing something. I mean, so that's the question is like, are you wearing them? Like, if you are wearing them, then that's good. But if they're just never getting used, then you just want to dig yourself out. One thing that I do, and I do this with white t-shirts more than with pants, actually with black pants, not jeans, but black pants, I've done this. Okay, so if you are going to have like a coat check at an event, let's say, they give you these white tags. You can buy these white tags that are blank that you can write on with a Sharpie. And so I order those tags and I use them to be like, these pair of pants need a boot so that I know that they're long and I can only wear them with a boot. Or with white t-shirts, I have some where it's like boxy white t-shirt because I have some t-shirts that are very boxy and then some that are long, and it just saves me time. And by doing that, I make sure I picked my favorites and I labeled them and then got rid of the other ones. And it's so much easier that way because with things that are like very close to each other, the subtleties matter. You really do reduce decision fatigue and wear the things you like much more when you can easily identify them and you're not digging through a bunch of stuff that you don't like.
And that is the funny thing about cleaning one's closet, Gretchen, is that the less you have in your closet, the more you feel you have because it's accessible, because you can see it, because you can imagine it with different things. And the more stuffed your closet is, the less choice it feels one has. So that is one of those truths that just over and over again, I have to learn.
It is such a deep paradox, but so often when I help people clear their closets, they say, now I feel like I have so much more to wear. I have a friend, true story, where her closet was packed so tightly with clothes that she didn't even open the door because it was so hard to shut the door after she opened it. And she just had like the same 10 items that she kept draped over her bathtub.
That's a New York City story.
Well, she had so many clothes, she couldn't wear any of them. And so but then when we went through, we got rid of bags and bags and bags. They all fit in the closet. And then she could open the closet, look at her clothes, and she's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I have a whole new wardrobe. It's just been moldering in there. But Elizabeth, we have to talk about the miracle of the pants. This is maybe cuts the opposite direction because it's like, hang on to the pair of pants. But these were really good pants. It's just that Eliza didn't have room to store them in her tiny apartment. So tell the story of the miracle of the pants.
Yes. So I was in New York recently and I was going to a gala event and I forgot my dress, Gretchen, which was, sent me into a tailspin. Adam FedExed my dress, but it did not arrive, even though he FedExed it for next morning delivery. So I borrowed a top from a friend, a very beautiful black top. And I was trying to figure out what pants I was going to wear with it or skirt. And the pants I had.
You had great shoes.
Yes. I had beautiful shoes.
So you had the top and you had these fabulous shoes.
And the black pants that I had brought with me to New York were really casual and absolutely did not look right. Your pants did not fit me. And so I said, well, will you look in Eliza's room and just see if she by chance has any black pants I could try on?
Yeah, because she stores stuff in her like childhood bedroom if she thinks she's not going to be wearing it for a while. And she kind of rotates stuff in and out there or things that are out of season just so she has more room in her grown-up apartment. So we do have like a lot of her clothes, but stuff that she likes, but she's just not wearing right now, stored. So you and I go rifling through those drawers.
Yes, and we found in a drawer, like stuffed in the back, a pair of black pants. And I'm like, I'm going to try these on. And I put them on and they fit perfectly. And they went perfectly with the black top that I had and made the outfit look totally appropriate for this gala event. And it really, and not only that, Gretch, but the material of the pants, which I think we determined was maybe a silk crepe, of some sort, I don't know if it had something synthetic in it, just fell out without any
Yes.
wrinkles. We didn't even
No.
have to iron or steam the pants. It was just like grab and go.
No, they were comfortable. They had pockets. They were so elegant. They just fit you perfectly. And then Eliza said you could keep them.
Yes. And I said, is Eliza going to wear these pants? Because if not, I would love to take them. And they're now in my closet, Gretch, one of my top pair of black pants.
So this is the thing. If you try on every pair of pants and you realize you're not wearing it, you can give it to somebody who will wear them with great delight. And so then everybody benefits. So let us know if you do try this at home and trying on every pair of pants works for you. Let us know on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook. Drop us an email at podcast@GretchenRubin.com. As always, you can go to the show notes. This is happiercast.com/583.
Coming up, we've got a happiness hack related to Gretchen's recent demerit about slips of paper in her pockets. But first, this break.
Hey, it's Julie Louis-Dreyfus from Wiser Than Me, etc. Just popping in with a little reality check. Food waste shouldn't exist. There is no reason that our leftovers should end up in a landfill, but that's the final destination for about a third of the food we grow. God, our ancestors would be confused. They used their food scraps as compost, or as animal feed, or in weird soups, all the stuff we did before garbage was invented. But composting is hard work. Living with a bucket of rotten food on your counter is gross. Most food goes in the trash because it's easy, and these days we'll take any easy we can get. But now there's something easier. Drop your scraps in a mill food recycler. It looks like a kitchen bin and an iPhone had a baby. It takes nearly anything, even meat and bones. It works automatically. You can keep filling it for weeks, and it never smells. When you finally empty it, you've got these nutrient-rich grounds. Use them in your garden, pour them in your green bin, or have Mill get them to a small farm so the food you don't eat can help grow the food you do, just like it should be. It's why I own a mill, why I invest in Mill, and why I'm still obsessed with my mill. If you want to get obsessed too, go to mill.com/wiser to get $75 off. That's mill.com/wiser for $75 off.
I have to say, I was immediately obsessed with my Lola blankets. The second I felt it, I knew this wasn't just another blanket. You think, everybody needs one of these. It's the softness. It's the kind of thing where somebody touches it and instantly responds. And that's when you know it's a good gift. And that's why I think it's perfect for Mother's Day. It feels thoughtful and luxurious, the way flowers don't. They're gone in a few days, but this is something you can use every day.
And the quality is incredible. No shedding, no pilling, and it's machine washable, so it's even something you can actually live with. For a limited time, our listeners can get 40% off select Lola Blankets products with code HAPPIER at checkout. Head to lolablankets.com and use code HAPPIER. That's lolablankets.com, code HAPPIER for 40% off. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know we sent you. This Mother's Day, wrap mom in the everyday luxury of Lola Blankets. Guys, we got to talk about your secret late-night internet searches. You know the ones: bumpy leg rash, hair loss, itchy bum. Trying to figure out your body by endlessly searching for answers. We all do it, and it never works. Thankfully, there's Amazon Health AI.
It can connect your symptoms with your medical history to offer personalized care 24/7. So call off the search. Amazon Health AI is here. Healthcare just got less painful. Okay, this week's happiness hack comes from our listener, Danette.
Yes, she says, Gretchen's recent demerit about slips of paper in pockets made me recall my New Year's resolution for 2025. It ended up being one of my all-time favorites as I resolved to empty the pockets of my garments as I took them off. Over the year, I spent much less time looking for various items, mostly gloves in the winter and lip balm year round. But the big payoff was what I didn't have to deal with. Near the end of 2024, I had accidentally washed an automobile fob, costing me nearly $200, and which was a bit of a hassle to repair. Shortly after, I washed a brand new red lipstick, which had a lower cost at $20, and a feeling of relief that the lid didn't pop off and wreck my dryer or the load of clothing. Prior to this, the occasional tissue that shed fuzz all over dark sweats was my biggest annoyance. But those larger back-to-back problems kicked me into a new habit. Coats, vests, hoodies, jeans, and slacks all get a pocket emptying, and I've had no laundry issues for over a year. Yay.
So this is a great reminder. And you know what this reminds me of, Elizabeth, is our hack that you should always look behind you when you get up and leave. If you get up at a restaurant, if you get up from a bus, if you get up from a seat in an airplane waiting area, always make it a habit to look behind you. And the thing is, you have to do this as a habit.
Yeah.
Because if you're just trying to remember, it's so easy to forget. But if you really work on just every single time before you take off a garment, I think this would save so much time and effort for people.
Yes, this is a great idea. I'm definitely going to start doing this. Now, I don't think I would do it with coats just because I like having a hat or gloves in my outer coat pockets, but obviously those aren't going into the wash. So I think that's okay.
But what about things like sunglasses, AirPods, stuff like that? Do you ever accidentally, like I might leave things in the coat, but I think it's a good idea to check to see, have I stuck anything else in there?
Good point. What I always end up, Gretchen, to that is walking around, like New York City with like 3 things of doggy bags in my pockets that I don't need because they're everywhere. And then I'm like, oh, now I have these crinkly bags in my pockets.
Yeah. So great hack.
Okay, Gretchen, it is time for a Know Yourself Better question.
Yeah, and this is a Know Yourself Better question that came to me in the context of my book that I'm writing about the empty nest, which I am rebranding as The Open Door, because I'm constantly thinking about distinctions, particularly between parents. I keep thinking, like, how do people have a different attitude or perspective as they're dealing with the empty nest? How might they be the same or different from their partner, and how that might cause confusion or conflict? This is a distinction that I noticed. It applies to the empty nest stage, but it also just applies generally. So I want to spring it on you, hear what you have to think, and then I would love to hear from listeners because I'm just starting to like really work through these distinctions. So I would love to hear people's response. Okay, so this is what it is. Are you a nostalgic person or an expectant person? So in my observation, nostalgic people are the people who really steep themselves in memories. They love traditions, old jokes. They love family photos. They have a strong sense of family identity and roots. Okay, but every upside has a downside. And so it might be that nostalgic parents might have trouble clearing out outgrown toys or letting go of outdated rituals. They might really dwell on the way things used to be and resist forging a new path, even when the time comes for that. Then expectant people are people who orient themselves towards the future. So they rarely look back. They draw energy from planning, from possibility. Okay, but what are the downsides of that? Instead of enjoying each season of life and celebrating shared memories, they might rush through the phases of life. They might miss the opportunity to have the traditions that foster a sense of family continuity. They might push themselves or a child or a partner to move too fast. Like, okay, let's retire now. Or like, okay, time for grandchildren, because they're constantly looking to the future. So, Elizabeth, what do you think of those distinctions?
It's really interesting. I think I'm both in different areas of my life. Like there's certain things I'm nostalgic about. Like I'm very nostalgic about college. Like I loved college, and I do find myself being very nostalgic and missing that time of life when you're young and that time right after college when everybody's up and coming and just starting out. Like Gretchen, I recently rewatched Mad Men, which is on my 26 for 26 list. And I really felt nostalgic watching that for the time in my career, like they're all in, or most of them, where they're kind of just on the rise. I just think that's such a fun, engaging, exciting, but scary time of life. And I miss that.
Okay, so let me stop you there because now I'm wondering if I want to clarify or like go deeper with this distinction, because I wonder if you're nostalgic for that feeling and yet it is not a guiding principle of your behavior. You don't act on that. And I think if you were truly a nostalgic person, you would act on it. You would have maybe a lot of framed photos from that time. You would go to reunions. You would maybe wear a lot of college swag. I don't know what else you might do. I wonder if there's a difference between longing for something in the past and being the nostalgic type. I need to think that through more.
That's interesting.
Because it's this question of maybe what I'm trying to get at is how it shapes your behavior more than what do you feel like an emotional pull to? Because I do think that for some people, they really behave in a nostalgic way. And I don't see you behaving in a particularly nostalgic way.
Good point. Yes, I am very expectant, I think, in my behavior. I am definitely looking ahead, trying to figure out the next thing rather than reliving, yesterday. How about you, Gretchen? What are you?
Well, I'm expectant too, Elizabeth. And in fact, I think both our parents are expectant too. I think we're an all expectant family. And it's interesting because when you think like our mother and father, they grew up in North Platte, Nebraska together. They knew each other starting in the 3rd grade. But given that, they really didn't reminisce as much as you might think that they would. I think if somebody described that to me, I would think that people would often be talking about things in the past and shared memories. And our family just doesn't do that. Every once in a while we'll do, and we'll sit around and swap old stories and laugh about funny things that happened in the past. But I think we're much more expectant. The way Dad always said, the next 6 months are going to be very interesting.
Yes.
I think as a family, we're expectant.
Jack, my son, he's 16, but he already just hates nostalgia. He doesn't like anything nostalgic. He doesn't want to look at baby pictures. He doesn't want to think about the toys he played with when he was 5 years old. It makes him sad. Nostalgia makes him sad. He turns away from it.
That's so interesting because I think nostalgia, it might even mean bittersweet, but it is this sweet sorrow. But for him, it's like he doesn't get the sweet at all. He does not like it. Oh, that's so interesting.
Yes. So we'll try to show him a video of him as a baby or something, and he does not want to see it.
Oh, that's so interesting. Well, you can see how in the empty nest phase, if you had a couple, one was nostalgic and one was expectant, this could cause a lot of conflict because they would really be sort of oriented in different directions and maybe not have much compassion for what the other one was talking about and wanted to do and enjoy and go through that transition. So listeners, I'm still just working through this. I'm trying to understand it. This is so interesting about Jack really not liking nostalgia at all. Do some people really not like the idea of expectant? Do they not like thinking about the future? I can imagine that. What is the difference between sort of like enjoying thinking about a certain stage or missing a certain stage and like having it being an organizing principle of your life, which I think I'm really getting at that more. But anyway, it's all kind of inchoate right now. The world is my research assistant. Send me your insights, observations. If you read a quotation from a novel where this came up, if it's in a movie, let me know. I am thinking it through.
All right, Gretchen, coming up, you have a demerit related to a habit. But first, this break. I have been doing a little spring reset with my closet lately, trying to focus more on quality over quantity, fewer pieces, but ones that are well made and easy to wear every single day. Gretchen, you know what I'm going to say? I love Quince for that. Quince makes beautiful everyday pieces using premium materials. They have 100% European linen, organic cotton, super soft denim with styles starting around $50. And Gretchen, I love their accessories.
Quince linen tops have become my go-to. The fabric feels substantial, but it's still easy to wear, and it does not cost what I thought quality linen would cost. Refresh your spring wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/Gretchen for free shipping and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. Go to quince.com/Gretchen for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Gretchen.
Are you a trailblazer, a risk taker, someone with countless tales of epic adventure? Well, I'm not quite there yet, but I'm working on it. Even the boldest among us started small, daring themselves to reach greater goals each day. If you're looking to take on a challenge like that, the Defender is too. It's a vehicle built for those capable of great things, whether you're charting new territory or just escaping the city for the weekend.
The Defender, engineered to meet challenges head-on so you can explore with confidence. An icon reimagined, designed for a new generation of explorers. Choose from the Defender 90, 110, or 130, seating up to 8 adventurers. With a tough-tested exterior, a modern and functional interior, and intelligent tech like 3D surround cameras and the Pivi Pro infotainment system, every journey feels limitless. Because like you, the Defender is capable of great things. Build your Defender today at LandRoverUSA.com.
This message comes from Harvard Business School Executive Education. Now is the time to invest in yourself and change the world with your voice. Harvard Business School Executive Education programs connect you with faculty at the forefront of their fields, introduce you to a global network of leaders, and help you step into your full potential. The next chapter is yours. Let them help you write it. Apply today to accelerate your future. Learn more at hbs.me/accelerate. That's hbs.me/accelerate.
Okay, Gretch, we are back with demerits and gold stars, and this week it is your turn for a happiness demerit.
Okay, this is a habit that mysteriously arose and then mysteriously vanished, and maybe the fact that it mysteriously arose explains why it mysteriously vanished. Okay, so was it in 24, Elizabeth, that you had the thing on your list about getting better about flossing? I don't think it was 2025. I think was it 2024?
I think it was.
Okay. So anyway, you had mentioned this, and in talking about our lists, you were talking about flossing and the importance of flossing and why weren't you flossing and all that. And then I was like, you know what? I am not flossing, and I'm not even like feeling bad about it. I'm just simply not flossing. And I realized, well, that's not smart because we all know that we should floss. There's a lot of really good reasons to floss. And the really nice thing was somehow just our conversation got me to start flossing. Either in the morning or at night, it sort of depended on the day, I would floss. So I was flossing regularly. I just somehow that was enough. So that's a delightful thing where I just easily picked up this habit, which can be challenging for some people. But then something happened. And I don't even know how long ago this was. It just finally occurred to me. I was looking in my cabinet and I saw the container of floss and I thought, wait a minute. I haven't been flossing, and I haven't been flossing for a long, long time. I guess I just didn't do it one day and never thought about it again. So, Elizabeth, once again, I'm hoping that a conversation that we have about flossing kickstarts me back into that habit because it does feel really nice. It wasn't even like I begrudge it. I like that feeling of having, it makes your mouth feel more clean. I really like that feeling.
Yes, I'm guessing that at some point you took a trip and you didn't have floss or you were in a rush and you so didn't floss on the trip thinking, well, you'll start back when you're in New York, and then you just forgot about it.
I think that's exactly right. I bet that is exactly what happened, right? Because I hadn't done much to cement it into place.
Yeah.
It was just this conversation. And so it didn't take much to knock it out of place. Okay. So now I think one thing is to like make sure that I have a lot of floss so that I get the visual cue too. Okay, good.
Put it in your sundry bag.
Yes, put it everywhere. And Elizabeth, what's something that you want to give a gold star to?
Well, Gretchen, it's interesting because it's related to nostalgia, I would say, given our discussion earlier. But I was recently in Kansas City and I was at the Plaza, which the Plaza is a large outdoor shopping mall near our parents' house. And it is somewhere we went all the time growing up and still go to all the time when we're home.
Yes.
But every Easter season, the Plaza puts out these large bunny figures all around the plaza, and they are very specific. There's the female bunnies and the male bunnies, and they're wearing suits or dresses or different pants, and they're very old-fashioned.
Yes, that's a good word for it. It's not like the kind of bunny that's on the egg dye that you see today with like sassiness. These are more like elegant, old-fashioned. They are old-fashioned kind of Easter bunnies.
Yes, and they're dressed in an old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
And anyway, I was home over Easter, which I usually am not. And so we went to the plaza and I was able to see all the bunnies. Adam took a picture of Jack and me between two bunnies. And it was just so wonderful to see them in person. And I just give such a gold star to whoever at the plaza puts those out, or to the bunnies themselves for being this constant in my life. So I guess that does feel very nostalgic. At the same time, they're still there. So it's sort of an ongoing nostalgia.
Right. Well, it's interesting because you sent me the picture, which was super fun. And it's the kind of thing that I forgot that I remembered.
Yes.
But of course, I remembered them with perfect clarity. And so that was super fun for me because I was like, oh my gosh, the bunnies. Because it is the kind of thing when you're little, like you run your hands over them and you look at the difference between the different ones and you wonder where they're going to be. They're just very iconic.
Yeah.
I got so much pleasure out of seeing that picture because I'd forgotten about them, even though I remembered them so well.
Yes. And there's such a sign of spring.
There's such a sign of spring. Yeah. So gold star to whoever's in charge of the bunnies. Your work is appreciated.
Yes, absolutely.
And now for the resource this week. Speaking of Mother's Day, here's one that is very popular as a gift, and that is the I Want You to Know journal. This is a very small book, and you fill it out. It has all these prompts, and you fill it out. It doesn't take that much writing to prompt you to talk about the things you appreciate about someone, what you remember about them. If you're not that good at expressing yourself, it's a really good way to do that. And then it can make a really wonderful gift if you give it to somebody that you filled out, because I want you to know that is what the journal is for. It was selected as one of the Today Show's Gifts We Love, which was a big honor, of course.
Yes.
You can look for that at happiercast.com/shop. And Elizabeth, what are we reading? What are you reading?
I'm reading Writing Down the Bones by Natalie Goldberg.
And I'm reading None Such by Frances Spufford. And that's it for this episode of Happier. Remember to try this at home. Try on every pair of pants. Let us know if you tried it and if it worked for you.
Thank you to our executive producer, Chuck Reed, and everyone at Lemonada. If you haven't subscribed to Lemonada Premium yet, now's the perfect time. Just tap that subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or go to lemonadapremium.com.
And here's your rhyming reminder. You know what I'm going to say, but I mean it most sincerely. Elizabeth and I would give you a gold star. If you like this show, tell others you know.
Until next week, I'm Elizabeth Kraft.
And I'm Gretchen Rubin. Thanks for joining us. Onward and upward.
Gretch, speaking of pants, when I was in Kansas City, Mom was cleaning out her white jeans, and I tried on every pair that she was donating, and I didn't end up taking any, but I did do a lot of pants trying on in Kansas City.
You have a lot of patience trying on pants, I have to say. Listen, it's one of your minor superpowers.
I do.